Hi there everybody, this is David, and welcome to my impressions and spotlight of the demo of On a Journey, released over on the Steam on the PC. I had the absolute pleasure of receiving an early access copy of the game, and in this sponsored video today, I do want to tell you all about it. And I do think that is worth a sub as I try my hardest to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And with your help, your like, and your sub, I do think that I can get there. So thank you so much for that. And also, if you do like what you see here with this game, please feel free to click the links below down in the video description and wishlist it and try out the demo for yourself. And now, let me deep dive all the way into what this classic RPG homage has in store for us. This demo is short but action-packed, introducing us to its three main heroes as well as the main mission, which is overtaking and sabotaging a train on its way to the capital. And maybe it's just me, but can you really have a JRPG without a great train sequence? I was reminded of so many classic games as I was traversing the inside and outside of this train. Granted, it is no ghost train, and I can't suplex it, and it doesn't fly through the sky either, but it definitely gave me those nostalgic feels. Not to mention the music, which almost seemed as if it was like plucked straight out of a Tales game. It was whimsical, and I loved it. And speaking of nostalgia, the developers themselves have said that this takes great inspiration from those PlayStation classics like Final Fantasy IX, Suikoden, and even The Legend of Dragoon. And I am definitely a major fan of Final Fantasy IX and Suikoden, so I was stoked to get my hands on this. You play as Tristan, the leader of a band of rebels, who's a well-rounded archer with lightning and healing spells, along with his sister Izzy, who's kind of like a dagger-wielding thief archetype, and then, my personal favorite, Uther, the older axe-wielding muscle god, who can put you into a deep freeze with his ice magic. So to kick things off, you jump on board the train, and it's here that the weather really smacks you in the face, as you see the autumnal themes and the beautiful trees in the background, as well as the rain pouring upon you, as the leaves will fall, and it really just kind of brings the game into life, and it makes you feel the character's struggles. As you're traversing the train, you're going to be asked to perform various quick-time events. It might be like jumping onto the train, or jumping from car to car, or even severing ropes that's tying down the cargo. And for each quick-time event, you do get 2 different chances, but failure isn't game over or anything else like that, so don't worry too much about it. And all that being said, I was able to master every single quick-time event the very first time that it popped up, so believe me, if I can do it, you can do it. So now, I want to spend some time talking about the battle system. There's no difficulty selector here, and it is traditionally turn-based, with an active turn-based gauge, kind of like in the earlier Final Fantasy games, as well as a turn-based gauge on the side of the screen, letting you know exactly whose turn it is going to be next, so you can really plan out your moves and your attacks as you see fit, kind of like in Final Fantasy X. Enemies' HP is shown on the screen as well as a weakness indicator, and at first, there'll be little question marks down there, but the first time that you hit their weaknesses, they will always show up from then on, and they'll also become stunned whenever you hit their weaknesses too. In addition to this, there is a Fury gauge, which builds up as you give and you receive damage. Once that hits 100%, you'll be able to do a Fury attack, which is essentially a limit break, dealing massive amounts of damage to your enemies. But the Fury gauge isn't just used for those limit breaks, as you can also use it for other attacks, like the summoning magic, which will use up to 50% of that Fury gauge along with a portion of your MP. But that attack will be super powerful and super cute, if I do say so myself. After battle, you receive experience points in the currency, which is pennies, as well as various items. And if you think that these items are useless, like they are in the vast majority of RPGs nowadays, you're going to be wrong, because this game definitely veers on the harder side, especially during the boss fights. So if you're not careful, and you're not using your potions wisely, then you will find yourself in a world of hurt with the quickness. All told, I really did enjoy the battle system. I mean, I grew up on the NES for God's sakes, where if you didn't do your grinding and you weren't prepared for an area, you got your ass handed to you on a silver platter. And if this demo is any indication, I can definitely see that being the case here. Eventually, as you get further and further into the train, you'll encounter some timing puzzles, as well as a passenger car full of NPCs who will tell you about the world, the various towns, the comings and goings of royalty, and the cherry on top, there's some pretty sweet voice acting in this passenger car too. Among all these passengers though, you're supposed to find your sister, because she is the next round of explosives, but she's not there. Instead, you find her hanging out in the cargo hold, and it's here that I want to talk about these hand-drawn animated cutscenes, because there's quite a few of them. I have played my fair share of RPG Maker games over on the Steam. In fact, I'm kind of like bombarded by them on a daily basis. Most of the time, though, I don't really bring them up here, at least on the channel, because they just don't have that wow factor. They don't have that something that sets them apart above the rest. But I really do think that these animated cutscenes elevate this game to another level. They're absolutely gorgeous. And they don't look like something from, like, the Zelda CDI games or anything else like that. You can definitely tell that a lot of time, effort, and care went into these. After you do grab the explosives, some soldiers will come in and ambush you, and it's actually kind of funny, because here, if you time your QuickTime event correctly, you can just push those dumb bitches right off the train. I mean, they're not the smartest enemies, are they? So, with explosives in hand, you and your sister make your way towards the front of the train, only for the security alarms to go off, and then some mechanical turrets pop up that you have to fight. And really, I cannot be the only one here that's reminded of the particular scene from the Final Fantasy series. Can I? These turrets definitely mean business, as the two smaller ones will just kind of like attack normally, but the third one in the back will bombard you relentlessly again, just like the turrets in Final Fantasy, and I am loving these throwbacks. Now remember, this is just a demo, and it will last you anywhere between 30 or 40 or so minutes, but from that experience, I got a pretty good understanding of what to expect from the full game. But I also just wanted to ask for my edification, if there's anything else that I should expect to see when the final game is ultimately released. So, I reached out to the developer, and he promised a day-night cycle, a universe mixed between medieval fantasy elements as well as advanced technology with a focus on mechas, which gives rise to like the sword punk subgenre, reminding me a lot of Xenogears. Not only that, there will be a full, robust equipment system consisting of weapons, armors, and accessories, as well as knowledge points that you can use to learn new techniques and obtain additional side quests. Not only that, but there's a full bestiary that you can use to study your opponents at your leisure, and mini-games and even verbal jousts with your enemies. This here has definitely forged its own identity, and I personally just cannot wait for the full release to come on later on next year. But in the meantime, again, we do have the free demo to tide us over, so if you do like what you see here, and you do want to try it out for yourself, please just click the links below down in the video description to wishlist the game and try out the demo today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do like this video, here's another video that I think that you're really going to enjoy too, going over the best turn-based RPGs over on the Nintendo Switch. So please do check that one out, and as always, have a good day.